Hey guys, thank you for joining us. True Gamers here with CG1 and
CG2.
Doing a complete review about God of War.
Sweet. Yep.
4000. But here we go. Pushing forward, what do we got on the list for today, CG2?
Okay, so today we're going to do a review. Now, you played the game. I unfortunately didn't. So we want to hear your feedback. You stayed up for how many hours?
There's only 50 hours, 2 minutes, and yes, 23 or 43 seconds. I don't remember the seconds right now. I've lost him somewhere. I've lost him.
But so he stayed up playing the game. I haven't played it yet, but we wanted to get the reviews for you guys. That way you can see his perspective, what he liked about the game, what he didn't like about the game, and just kind of let you in on the fun. Yeah.
That's right. So, what do we got today for starting off on our questions?
All right, so first thing is, this is something that is really important to me. It's all about gameplay. The first game that really blew my mind was the original Halo, right? Blew my mind. Original Halo. And then games were pretty good until Uncharted came out. And then there we go again. That game just blew my mind. So gameplay is really important. Then after Uncharted, there was Battlefield Bad Company 2. So anyway, my point is, gameplay is really important to me. So I wanted to get your opinion on the gameplay, meaning how did it feel? How did it react when you push the buttons, when you use the joystick, everything. So let me know, what do you think about the game?
First of all, it is nothing like, I'm just throwing in a game in there, Crossout.
Okay.
When you play Crossout, it's a pretty cool game because you have to build your car from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're doing the races, the slightest touch of the joystick throws your car way out in left field or way out in right field. So it's like,
okay.
You know, when you're playing Crossout, you're driving, it responds very well. But when you got a very light car, just touching it just throws it out. Totally throws the whole entire gameplay off.
Okay.
So with God of War, the one thing that's cool about God of War is it actually responds in a very timely manner. Your mind takes about 2 seconds usually to respond. Luckily, the PlayStation 4 controller and God of War responds in almost instant. Oh, I gotta hit the button, I gotta hit, I gotta duck, I gotta dodge, I gotta throw the weapon, I gotta switch weapons. Does it instantaneously.
Okay.
So it's one cool thing about God of War is it's right on the battle, or it's right on the button, if you will, love the pun, and it's consistent. So no matter what button you're hitting, it's actually responding pretty quickly. So if you got to run to the left, run to the right, you got to set that you want to switch your weapons out. When you get to the point to where you can't switch your weapons out, it actually sets there and allows you to do it instantaneously. Unlike the game I was just talking about earlier, we won't say the name again because they're not paying us. Not just kidding. Crossout, because of the fact that no matter what weapon you choose, if you will, it throws the whole entire gameplay off. Versus with God of War, when you're sitting there, you're jumping, you're going through things, you're battling it out. It's consistently what you would expect it to be, not only with just the previous God of Wars, but of course comparing it to a lot of the other games that we have today. Like, of course, not that I'd ever mention anything about Fallout, because like, who loves Fallout? This guy right here, and this guy over here too, and go on, I forget him.
Yeah.
But you know, it's really cool things about that. Fallout's consistent with the gameplay when you're sitting there playing it with the buttons that you're smashing, whether you're doing it on PC or if you're sitting there using a console controller. So it's one of the cool things about it. It's very consistent. It's very lively. It's very good with the consistency of it. You're going to hear that word a lot in this section of it, consistent, because it is. You know, you're sitting there, you're running, you're pushing forward. You know, you have the ability to move slowly or push forward and go for your full runs. And of course, you have your other buttons that go along with it to keep it consistent, keep it running, and keep it flowing smoothly, if you will.
Sweet. So, Gameplay Plus reacts to your movement really quickly. It's rapid, so there's no delays in it.
Yes.
The jumping, is it a long jump like Fortnite and Destiny? Yeah.
No,
in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, or is it a quick jump, like more realistic?
It's more of a realistic jump when you're doing it. So you don't get to like when you're playing Overwatch, the fraction they just had, the special they just had, to where they had the
Retribution?
the gravity one,
Oh, no gravity.
The no gravity one. You set and you jump.
No
You're jumping for like 30 seconds, and then you're coming down, and you're running, able to sit and do spins and wear your tutu. And no, it's more reality based to it. So that way, when you're running and you're jumping to it, it's actually more of a, okay, this is, I can actually see myself running if I was actually to see myself as this character, I could actually run as Kratos, jump, and land at that same extent versus a 3-hour tour and boom.
And
But
yeah.
yeah, it's more realistic versus some of the other games who give us a more fluctuation on reality.
Okay, good, good. So that's definitely a plus. What about the okay, so Battlefront 2.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've seen our Twitch videos when we streamed it. I wasn't too happy with it. I don't know, were you happy with it? But one of the main things was the AI, the artificial intelligence, right? At Battlefront 2, you had our allies responding so slowly. They would dump magazines into one enemy. That enemy wouldn't die. We would be giving that enemy a headshots, and that enemy wouldn't die. And so I hated the AI in that game. So anyways, let's get back to God of War.
Battlefront, it reminds me of the true saying, red shirts versus stormtroopers. They all die. He's shot at the window. What happened to the red shirt? He's dead. Oh my God. He's dead, Captain. But yeah.
So how do you feel about the AI in God of War?
God of War, the AI features in that was, of course, 2 billion% better than Battlefront.
Okay.
It was really quick. It was really reactive to you. Of course, an AI is an AI. It runs off of its programming. Nothing wrong with that. The algorithms were pretty good. With God of War, it was pretty sweet with the simple fact that, you know, the different characters that you responded to, I interacted with, they had their oomph, their wimps. In other words, they were quick to think, they were quick to move, basically trying to bring you more into a realistic battle engine with it. But of course, it at times did have its little slowdowns and not really like lags, but of course it had its little moments where it seemed like the PlayStation was thinking on how to respond to you.
Okay.
So it's pretty cool because in real life you're gonna actually have people like, well, you know, you got hit, you got to take the moment back to sit there and come back at you again. So it's one of the cool things about it.
Yeah.
Definitely nothing compared to that Disney Star Wars game. But definitely a lot better with the AI interface with it. So that's one of the cool things about it, because they're able to come in, jump in, work at it, you know, with the different characters you responded to. Some of the doors were shut, literally, the doors were shut. You couldn't get back in there. Other places, it was pretty cool. With the Leviathans, totally wrong game. Now I'm thinking, what's that TV show called? With the two brothers, Dean and Sam. Anyway, Supernatural, that's what it is. Okay. There's no Leviathans in this one. Not yet.
No, the axe is called the Leviathan.
Yeah, but I was thinking of the character. But yeah,
okay.
His actual axe that he has is the Leviathan. But one of the cool things about that is they allow you to bring back the original weaponry that we had in God of War 1 and God of War 2. But you don't start out with it in this God of War. So that's one cool thing about it.
Yeah, so you get to build up to it in order to get that nostalgia, but they're also effective weapons.
Oh yeah, very effective weapons.
That's good. Okay, the story. You know, we talked about the gameplay. We talked about the gameplay. We talked about the AI, how it responds to you. But what about the story? How did you feel about it? What did it leave like a lasting impression? Did you feel like you were actually part of the game?
Well, one of the great things is for those of you who have played the previous God of Wars, you know that Kratos is all about himself, his image, what's going to affect him, the whole 9 yards. You know, he's a really unique character from a standpoint of view. With this one here, the story, what they did with that, one of the things I do give Sony and the PlayStation props for, and the game creators of God of War, is the fact that they took the original director from God of War 1 and brought him back in to direct this God of War here. Yes, in God of War 2, he was a creative designer. He wasn't the actual director of the video game, but in this one, in the God of War 1 and this one here, they brought him back because this God of War does look at some of his past actions. So that's one of the cool things about it. The story with that is they're changing his image. According to the director of this God of War, they want to change him from what he used to be. And what's one of the biggest changes that will affect you is having a child to watch and protect over. Having his mother at the beginning of the story, you don't understand what happens until you get further towards the end of the gameplay of what happened with the mother and who the different new characters are and things like that, how they interact. The story with this one here, when you get to the end of it, you let you know right out that there should be a sequel coming out after this one. So that's one of the cool things about it. Yeah. I'm excited to see the sequel as long as they continued off where they left off this one here. No spoilers yet, so we're good there. Just the story itself was actually really good storyline. The fact that they want to change him from being a bad guy into bringing him into the light to where he's going to be not your exact stand-up good guy, but he was a hero that would just follow the wrong trail at times. Okay. And this one here, they're trying to bring Kratos onto the good track. Yeah. So this is one of the cool things about it, with how they've twisted his character around from the first original in 2005 to present.
So that's sweet. Now, from my understanding of the game, he's fighting Norse gods, right? Norse gods. So what do you feel about that story? About them telling that story about those type of gods? Just give us your whole opinion about it.
Well, it's quite interesting because we look at Marvel's comics about Thor. We look at Disney's movies about Thor.
Wait, 1 second. Somebody had said that I look like Thor.
Hey, you got the fuzz. Heck yeah.
No, nobody said that. Nobody said that. All right, sorry about that.
That's hilarious. That's a good one. But in this one here, we look at Thor in a very closer look. We look at Odin and how they're not what we perceive them to be this way. But in this storyline, we see that the god of war is facing Thor, and he's a very drunkard, like they first introduced him to kind of sort of in the Disney series of the Marvel movies. He's more violent, he's more vindictive, he's more of a murderer, he's more of an outraged individual like Odin is. If you don't follow and worship Odin is so obsessed with power, so obsessed with knowledge, so obsessed knowing about the future, so people look to him as being the god in that, the god of gods in the Nordics, so that way he knows about the different prophecies. So he can say, I knew about this and I told you about it. So it shows him to be more of a hating, vindictive type like of gods. Okay. So it's quite interesting to see the new play that most people don't look at when you think about Thor, when you think about Odin, and because those are the two main gods. You also have Thor's two sons in this. So it's pretty cool. So you have to face Thor's two sons as well. So you're not just sitting looking at one thing, you're looking at all the different gameplay and the different demigods and things that they brought into this. So it's quite interesting as you guys play, if you haven't played it yet, to see your guys' reaction when you're noticing the different characters you actually have to face.
Yeah. So did that make the game more exciting to you, knowing that, like, hey, this is a different spin on Thor, this is the real spin on Thor and Odin?
I mean, I enjoyed it more because, Thor is one of my comic book heroes. Thank you, Stan Lee. What Disney did to it was quite unique. No issues there. But to see the true thought process behind how they originally viewed some of these gods, these demigods and stuff like that, how with the Nordics, how they actually viewed it, how they suffered, and what they believed it to be. I like to see the spin on it to where Thor is not the good guy. Yeah. He's actually worse than Kratos, if you will. He's actually a bigger, to see that he's actually a bigger negative character than what we have seen and what we've learned about today. So seeing that his father, Odin, was actually obsessed about stuff. How the different realms that were coming together was actually sitting there and turned off to the side, and how they had a form of the Bifrost in this, and just how you introduce and you meet the people who actually created, the dwarves who created Thor's hammer, and how they work together to help you and push you along and upgrade your weapons and stuff like that. So it's quite interesting. I mean, have you seen Infinity War yet?
I haven't seen it yet.
I love it because you have the dwarf. Now, the dwarf in this series, they call him a dwarf, but he's like 12, 15 feet tall. and he's the same. I don't remember the actor's name. He's the same actor who plays in Game of Thrones.
Mountain?
The short guy.
Peter Dinklage.
Is that his name?
Peter Dinklage, yeah.
That might be his name.
Tyrion Lannister.
So he's one of the rulers in the Game of Thrones series, and he's a dwarf. But in Disney and Marvel, they call him a dwarf, but he's a giant.
Huh.
It makes no sense the way Disney took a look on it. But again, it's just interesting to see how the two brothers, and then with the Disney crossover, how the Disney realm spoke similar about the dwarves who created it, but it was only an individual who had like 900 brothers or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And these two here, it's two brothers who actually created Thor's hammer and other iconic weapons that we know about from the different universes, from Marvel to DC to just everything else. It's pretty sweet the way that they actually did it.
Dang, that's pretty cool. Yeah. Man, that's awesome. Peter Dinklage also played the Mighty Eo on Angry Birds. So let's not forget important pieces of history like that, Russell. Okay.
Sorry, I've never
CG1.
played an Angry Bird game. I'm not gonna lie. Nothing wrong with it. I think they're pretty cool. I just have this thing about pigs. If it wasn't for the pigs, I'd probably play. But of course, we are trying to destroy them and wipe them out.
That's true. All right, now, so what were some of your favorite missions in the game?
Well, there's a lot of cool missions throughout the entire game, but after you've completed the game, there's a whole entire other universe of missions as well too. They have, while you're playing the game, they've got some pretty easy ones, of course, where you have to get certain items together to save characters or to heal characters. You have other missions to where you're running around, of course, grinding it out because you need certain things. So there's a lot of missions to and fro that you have to get to in order to build your character up and stamina. But there's a couple of missions where you actually end up in what we refer to as Hades or Hell. So those are some pretty fun ones because you have to actually take out the heart of Hell's Gatekeeper. The Hell's Gatekeeper is the dude who keeps the living from going into Hades because only the dead's supposed to go. So it's pretty cool. And they give you a little bit of idea about this fun battle is you've got a guy who's 3 times bigger than you as Kratos, and he's quicker than you, he's faster than you, and he can call the dead to attack you. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool.
So you have to get him, and you have to get his heart out.
So that sounds pretty intense. Now, this is kind of going back to the gameplay or AI. Did at any point they startle you? Because one thing I like when I'm playing a game is the unexpected. Like, oh, they had the AI do that. That's crazy. A lot of times that would happen on the original Halo, which is why I was blown away. Destiny 2 gameplay, what I like about the campaign mode is that the AI is really responsive. So I feel maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like they start to adapt to your moves. So, I'm one of those guys that likes to jump and spin, roll on the floor, shoot, hide behind stuff. But then as you play the game, I feel, maybe this is right, that they also do the same thing because it gets, noticeably harder as the thing goes on. And I like that. It takes me by surprise. I like when the AI comes out of nowhere to do something crazy. So anyway, back to the God of War. How did the AI surprise you on that one?
My number one games for being surprised to where like, oh my god, scream and stuff, of course, is always Fallout. Because they've got so many different characters in Fallout, the death claws will come out of nowhere, stuff like that. In God of War, there's not too many features or areas that maybe actually jump and like scream and yell, oh my god, what, things like that. But as for startling wise, the way the AI interacts with you, and a lot of things, especially in when you go to Hades, I call it Hades because I remember it's Hell something, I don't remember what they actually call it, but Hell, in that battle there, the one thing is there's quite a few times where he does just, basically they just seem like they appear out of nowhere. Because they do. So that's the only times they really get you in your face, like, oh, you kind of jump about it. There's another one where you're fighting Thor's two sons, where you're sitting there going back and forth, where they just jump around. They're just sitting there attacking you consistently. And with a moment or two of rest, when you knock them down low enough that they actually have to go into the little coma area, if you will, the little Zen moment to get that power back to attack you.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, again, the AI, like we spoke about earlier, is responsive to you, but it's not like, oh my gosh, it just like appeared out of nowhere and made me jump out of my seat.
Yeah.
But as for the intense moments, again, referring back to when you're in hell the first time, or even the second time, just the different stuff you have to do, it's definitely quite unique.
Yeah.
And it is interactive, it is responsive. It does seem like it does respond to you. Because if you do set certain emotions over, you do them consistently, the only way to break that pattern is if there's something similar to your pattern to get you to break that pattern.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. All right, so let's see here. What was the most... We talked about the favorite missions. Did we talk about the most difficult missions yet? Which one did you find the most challenging? The one that you wanted
Hades.
to throw the controller down?
Hades. The first time, not the second time. Because when you're facing the guard, he literally vanishes. So he's one moment he's in front of you, next moment he's not there in front of you.
Yeah.
He's behind you, hitting you from behind. So it's one of those moments where you're just like, what the Parcheesi? What the heck are you doing? And you get frustrated. I'm trying to remember one of the missions I had to play more than once, because very few of the missions I had to play more than once, thankfully, and I wasn't playing on easy, so yay. They have 3 or 4 different levels. You know, they have the easy level where everything is more of a storytelling mode. Then you have the normal mode. With the easy mode, the character, you deal more damage with your weapons, and the characters have less. Normal mode, the characters get a +8 advantage on their weapons, so you have to do a +8 bonus over time to build up your weapons to counteract, to even yourself out to the +8 they have on their weapons, plus you get 50 more life. And then when you go God of War mode, oh my goodness, you get there is a total of 29 things that you get in God of War mode that are against you mostly, versus when you're playing normal mode, hard mode, or when you play hard mode, you have 10 things pinning against you. When you're in God of War mode, you have those 10 plus 19 additional things. So you have a total of 29 things pinned up against you that you have to pay. So it's like when you play Fallout on survival mode, you don't get to survive, or you don't get to save the game anywhere. There's only certain spots you can save at. This here, it's the same way. You've got everything pinned up against you. Yeah, there are a couple things positive towards you, but what's positive towards you? Like, oh, you get to rage mode quicker. Well, that's great, but to get to rage mode quicker, I've got to kill I've still got to kill the same 40 guys, but now it's like fighting 80 or 90 guys for the same 40 you needed before. Okay. So I was just like, oh my goodness, frustrating.
Yeah. So does it lower your power? Yeah. Like your strength?
In God of War mode, yeah. In hard mode, it does a little bit.
So your hits are not as effective. Okay.
So that's one of the things it's like, I got the walkthrough guide from GameStop. I got the collector's edition. One of the cool things about the collector's edition, only exclusive at GameStop. I'm not supporting them. They're not our sponsors, anything like that. But it's really cool because they're the only ones that has a skin cover for your controller for God of War. So that's one of the cool things. If I tell people where to get it, go buy it. I mean, now the book is $40-some, $43, but if you buy the game and the book at the same time, you save 10% on the book.
It's easy to save $40. Let's say you were born today. Put $1 away every year. By the time you're 40, you got $40.
So you can do this.
I mean, simple math. Okay, so let's do this. What about let's talk a little bit about the parents guide. So there may be parents watching this wondering, hey, should we buy this for our kid? Or there may be kids who told their parents, hey, come watch this so you can see I can play it. But we want to be truthful. We want to give you our feedback. Like I said, I haven't played God of War, so I'm leaving it up to CG1 here to let you know. What do you say to parents?
Because there is actual foul language in this one. The original God of War.
Foul language, like
cussing.
Oh, you bird, you parakeet, like you chicken.
It says.
Oh.
Now,
Crow.
there's actually cussing in the
Okay.
game, especially with the Dwarf Brothers. He's very opinionated. He tells you exactly what he thinks of you in the situation. He doesn't hold back. So if you know anyone who's like that in real life, yeah, you can just put their name there. With that being said, the original God of War actually had sex scenes in it. So it's not falling too far away from that. But this God of War, because he's married now, has a child, luckily enough, they did cut out the sex scenes in this one. There is cursing in it. There is, the F-bomb and a few other bombs that are in there. They're not every word. They're not every other word, luckily, but they are there. So if your child is under the age of 13 or 18, I'm just kidding, I wouldn't really recommend this for them for the simple fact that there is no G version of the game. Now, if you're a person who sits there and cusses every day, that's on you. But as for True Gamer CG1 here, I would recommend, at least if your kid is 15 years or older, go for it there, because when you're in high school, you hear the language every day. I don't promote saying it, but to the same extent, truthfully being told, it is out there.
Yeah.
And because it is out there, they do incorporate it in our games.
Well, as a wise man once said, cursing words are sentence enhancers. And that wise man is Patrick Star from SpongeBob. So, sentence enhancers. No. All right, so you say 15 or older then? 15 or older.
At least, just because of the language in there.
Yeah.
If they took out the language, a 10, 11-year-old kid can be said to be playing this because it does got the captivity. Like I said, I played it for over 50 hours, 2 minutes, and either 23 or 43 seconds. There was a couple bumps in our broadcast, but the simple fact, they forced updated God of War 1.15, 1.16, which shut the system down. They cut the gameplay off immediately, and you had to sit there and do the update before you could sit there and play again.
Wow.
Pain in the butt.
Yeah.
Thank you, God of War and PlayStation.
Santa Monica Studios.
Yeah, yeah, right there. No, it's on this one. It's on the other poster.
Is it on the other poster?
Yeah, it's on the other poster. Sorry.
By the way, I love Santa Monica Studios. Have you played The Order 1866?
Yes, I have not.
No? Yes, you have not?
No, I haven't.
It's a short game. It was digital only. I think no, it was not digital only.
Like, I don't know if they got digital only.
Yeah, I've seen discs out. I love that game. Really good game. Okay.
What's it called?
The Order 1866, I believe.
It sounds familiar.
Yeah, it's.
But yeah, it was Peter Dinklage.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the new Thor Avenger movie, he's like 12, 15 feet tall, and they call him a dwarf. What's wrong with this picture?
Yeah.
I mean, why not just call him a hobbit then?
That's funny.
Okay, what's next?
So then the last question here, and then you can pull up anything that you can say, mention anything you want to mention. The last question I have for you is, what skill level do you think this game requires? So you can compare it to other games you've played, and the amount of skill. Yeah, that's it right there. Yeah, 1886.
Yeah.
There you go.
Download, or I love this. Pre-order or pre-owned $14.99. Download $59.99.
That's one thing I don't like about the PlayStation Store, is that they don't give you discounts on download stuff. I mean, they do give you the free PlayStation Plus games, but like if I wanted to buy like the Overwatch, right, I can get it used at GameStop or something like that for $30
Or less.
Or less. If I buy it on PlayStation, it's full price still.
Yeah.
It's a little interesting to me. Okay,
Yeah.
So getting back to that, what's the skill level required to play this game? What do you think?
Well, the skill level.
Well, you did mention that there's an easy,
Yeah.
medium, hard, and then God mode.
There's easy, normal, hard, and then God.
Yeah.
So really and truly, if you're a noob when you go into gaming, there's nothing wrong with that. Reason being because they do their best to make it suitable for younger people who are just learning how to play games.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing I do love about the easy level. But when you're playing in the hard level, you want to sit there on a scale of 1 to 10. At least if you're a skill level about 6 to 7, you should be able to play it without a problem.
Yeah.
Now, if you're playing the God of War mode, God of War. Now, here's the great thing about this. On this game, every level except for God of War mode, you can switch at any time.
Okay.
Once you start a God of War mode, it's not the actual name of it, but just it's like Gimme God or something, Gimme War, whatever it's called. You cannot switch out of that mode. You have to start a brand new game because the levels are so uniquely tuned that it's at times a one-hit wonder for you.
Wow.
Certain enemies, boom, gone.
Wow.
Even on hard mode, there's a few enemies like that. So as you're playing along, make sure you do the side quests like I did. I did all but 2 side quests in the game.
Wow.
That's why it took me 50 hours before the game ended. Once the game ended, there's a whole lot more quests and things that you can go back and do that you didn't finish the first time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one cool thing about it. And then as you're doing certain missions and stuff like that, it's all, well, as you're playing, you'll see it's pretty cool overall.
Yeah.
But your skill level, if you're playing God of War mode, you got to be at least a 9 or higher. You're maybe an 11 or 12 out of 10, because it does really get intense. It does really irritate you. It does really frustrate you. Not that I did not play it, I'm just saying, or I did not try it out. You know, I just had some fun with it. It's just really intense, and it really gets your controllers flying. Or one guy that I met, he actually twisted his controller and broke it.
That's a strong guy.
Well,
Wow.
he was really upset.
Yeah.
I met him at GS Will, and we were talking about it.
Wow.
But that was for Madden football.
Madden.
Yeah.
How do you get that angry at Madden? That's like.
Apparently he didn't catch, or this guy didn't do, or someone interfered or tackled or something. He didn't get his touchdown, lost the season or something. But yeah, he said he got so pissed off, he sat there and ripped it. He had a controller with him.
Wow.
So it wasn't just like talk.
He wasn't making it up.
Yeah, you could see the wear and tear. There was another gamer who traded in his controller. The right controller had regular wear and tear. The left controller had 3 millimeters completely ground into the control stick on how much and how hard they sat there and they pushed that controller.
Wow.
Yeah, there's an actual indent that you can see. Put a penny in. It was just they were so intense on playing and stuff. Like, wow. I get intense to where I have to wear a brace.
Yeah.
But my controllers are normally safe.
I'm more like verbal. Like I just make a lot of grunting and
I do that too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Almost sounds like an old Asian movie.
Yeah, tell you everything, okay? Yeah. You
So-
look like a man.
Miss Swan.
Oh, yeah, Mrs. Swan.
So let's we'll sum it up. So as far as gameplay, what do you rate it out of a 1 through 10 gameplay?
I have to say that I really do agree with all the critics. I'm not always a big fan of agreeing with the critics, but this game, it is definitely a 9.5 to a 10 with the gameplay, with what they offer, with the whole entire package that comes with just the game, not this stuff back here, but just the game itself. It's really good. It kept me captivated. It kept me motivated to play those 50 plus hours, or 50 hours, 2 minutes, and some odd seconds. It really kept me motivated to go because I wanted to see what happened at the end. And then when I got to the end, well, you have to get there yourself and find out.
Yeah. Sorry. AI, 1 out of 10.
AI, well, now 1 being the highest, right?
1 being the lowest.
Oh, my bad. Overall, on hard and normal, I would give it at least a good 7.5 to 8.
Okay.
Because it does respond to you at times. Other times, it does make you seem like you are facing someone because it takes a moment till you look at, oh, is it thinking what to do next? Or is it just the PlayStation that's just glitching? Nah, just kidding.
No.
Oh, one good thing about it, sorry, not to cut you off. It does have, depending on the type of television and the system that you have, it does have HDR capability. So, you know, your high definition resolution. So, like if you're playing on a 4K television with the PS Pro, it definitely has that oomph, and you can see a slight difference in the non-VR version and the regular version on the TV screens when you're playing with an HDR TV and a non-HDR TV.
Okay.
Or even if you have a 4K television, you can even turn it off and you can see a slight difference. There's a little bit of detail it loses, not much. So if you're playing on a regular 1080p television, you get the full experience. But if you have the opportunity to have that 4K, it does actually even some 1080 televisions even do the HDR mode. So depending on television you got, if you do have it, use it. Some people or some PlayStations have it automatically shut off. Most of the time, it's on automatic, so it can tell whether it's got it or not. It doesn't have it. So if you have it, use it. Again, not much of a difference, but that difference it does have, well worth it.
You'll enjoy it. Enjoy it. So you heard it here. If you're gonna get God of War, you have to buy a 4K TV.
4K TV.
4K, yeah.
That's right.
It goes hand in hand.
Yes,
it's only gonna cost you about what, $3,000?
$3,000 to $10,000.
$310, easy.
Pocket change for us gamers, right?
Yeah. All right. So the graphics were 1 out of 10.
Graphics are pretty good. Again, with going for HDR off mode without HDR, I definitely say it was definitely a 9.5 to 10 because of the graphics are in there. When they created this version here versus the previous version, because we weren't working with 1080, you can definitely see the deepness and the red on his face, the paint on his body. You can definitely see the difference between the paint on his body and the blood that comes off from time to time. So I definitely give it higher ratings on that part.
Okay, awesome. Am I missing anything else that we can rate? I think it's pretty good, huh?
The players are 10 out of 10. So you playing, definitely 10 out of 10.
You're a 10 out of 10.
That's right.
Yeah, and then if you're like a 7 out of 10, put it down a level, maybe easy mode, and you're a 10 out of 10.
That's right. No matter what level player you are, it's fun to play with.
Yeah.
It's fun to do. The fact that you can travel between realms
is awesome.
Is pretty sweet. There's 9 total. So like the 9 realms of Odin, or the 9 realms that line up every couple thousand years, whatever it is. So they have everything there. There's one realm that's disappeared completely off the map that you have to find.
Okay. You're not going to spoil it for us.
Well, I could tell you, but you'll find out in the first 40 minutes of the game.
Oh, okay. Well, don't spoil it.
So it's a short people one.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we appreciate you guys watching. Check out our unboxing video. We're gonna be unboxing the God of War package, and that way you can see what comes in the case, how it looks. We'll tell you about how it feels. Give you pretty much our first impressions. All right. Hey, thanks a lot for watching. I'm CG2.
CG1.
We appreciate you. One more thing. Go ahead and follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/ChewGamers. Also on YouTube, you got to look up Chew Gamers. We don't have a URL yet.
We don't?
No, I try to get one. We have to have 1,000 followers. So follow us.
We're almost there. We're not there yet.
We're almost there.
We're only short 900 followers.
We gotta give YouTube some more love, and so that's why this is only going to be able to be viewed on YouTube. And probably any more reviews that we do, it's all going to be on YouTube. So we'll give you guys some love over there. Follow us. I mostly game on YouTube. CG1's gaming on Twitch. We'll do a dual stream at least once a week where we're streaming together, but I'm on YouTube, he's on Twitch, and that's a lot of fun. Feel free to join us.
Sunday night at 8 p.m. is our giveaway. Every Sunday night we have something that we give away from one of our sponsors, or something that we've gotten to show you guys his love because we appreciate you. This Sunday we'll be doing some shout outs to some of our new subscribers on Twitch, so we're excited there. Make sure you follow us, and those of you who can, subscribe to us, show us your love so we can actually show you the love that we have for you guys. Any game that you guys want to see a complete playthrough, let us know. Hit us up on Facebook, hit us up on Twitch, hit us up on Twitter, hit us up on Instagram, hit us up on YouTube, hit us up on
at the mall.
Yeah, at the mall. I'm telling you, whether it be down here in Hollywood, whether it be in Ontario, whether it be in Burbank, hit us up because we're always traveling around. Discord, that's what it is. Hit us up on one of our ways to chat with us. It's at Chew Gamers on all of them. So we're sitting there having some. Oh, also Reddit too.
Reddit?
Yeah, we're also on Reddit too. So hit us up. Show us what games you guys want to see. If there's a particular game that you guys want to see gameplay, your parents won't let you get it yet because of the price or whatever the case may or may not be, hit us up. Let us know what you want to see, whether it's a free game or a paid game, so that way we can focus our the dividends that we have coming in on making sure that we provide you not only with the best entertainment and quality, but of course to make sure we're getting the games that you want to see.
Yeah.
So I know we're also doing complete playthroughs right now on modded versions of Fallout 4. Now that Bathsheba and PlayStation has come together to allow us to mod directly from the PlayStation. Because I know I always played, because I own every single God of War from the 90s to present. I still have a working 1998 Windows 98 working computer. I still have a working original late 80s, early 90s 311 laptop. So laptop's been around since the 80s, just for most of you guys who did not realize that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have all this stuff because I love gaming so much.
Yeah.
So working from there to present, I've always modded stuff on the PC because when you're working with the PlayStation, PlayStation 2, Xbox 360, they kind of started breaking into it, PlayStation 3 and so forth, so we can actually mod it. Not with the consent of Sony. Oh well, it happens. You know, we own it. We respect the policy, but to some extent, we want to be able to have it. Now, Nintendo was the best modder they ever had was the Game Shark. Stick your Nintendo cartridge inside the cartridge called the Game Shark. You stick it in there and did all the mods for you. And then after that, they went away from modding, but the players never did. So we started working on getting around it. So useless information for you, but so it's pretty cool with Bathsheba, and then you as
Bethesda.
Bathsheba.
I was like, Bathsheba, she's the lady from Mortal Kombat.
Well, you know what? I like her too.
Bethesda.
So Bethesda, yeah, Bethesda.
And Bathsheba.
Yeah.
She's the lady that
Yeah.
was taking a bath on the roof.
Oh, that's what it
I'm
was.
thinking about it.
Whoops.
But anyways, hey, good night. Keep an eye out for our unboxing of God of War. We appreciate you. CG2 again.
CG1.
We're out. We'll see you.
True Gamers loves you much.